And welcome back to the program. I'm joined now by Talk Business and Politics Executive Editor Michael Tilley, the man in black, joining us on the set. Good to have you with us.
Good to be here.
And Talk Business and Politics Senior Writer and Editor for a short while longer, Wesley Brown. Good to have you too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in just a second there. Good to see both of y'all.
All right.
Ironically, we got our two best business reporters here to talk about politics
Yeah.
today because we're going to fill it in. So, Democrats announced this week they will not field a candidate for the U.S. Senate to challenge Senator Tom Cotton. What a change a decade makes from 2008 when Mark Pryor was unopposed. Now Tom Cotton unopposed with the Democratic candidate.
Well, and just, historically, think about the Democratic Party and the senators. You've had Fulbright, McClellan, Bumpers, Pryor.
Yeah.
Those were
venerable
heavyweights in the U.S. Senate. Now nothing.
Yeah.
Not even fielding a candidate. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know enough to know who to blame, but I just think that is not a good sign for the party.
Yeah, you go from a deep bench to a short bench to no bench, and that's for the Democratic Party in Arkansas, that's just in the legacy of the Democratic Party in Arkansas to not field a candidate or even allow that to happen. I think the circumstances around it are just as troubling as not having a candidate.
It's definitely a mystery in terms of Josh Mahony drops out 2 hours after the closing period for candidate filing. Really doesn't, explain anything other than a family health concern, and then it's just kind of silence.
And then he won't talk now. You've got to talk to his attorney if you want to talk
who's
to
not
him.
responding to some inquiries.
But let's back up a little bit even before that. Even if Mahony would have stayed in the race, what is he going to garner? 30%, 35% of the vote? He was a weak candidate going in. That's why I don't understand why the Cotton campaign, well, there's some theories out there, but why were they so afraid of this guy that they were going to trounce anyway?
Yeah.
I don't think they were afraid. I would argue that they probably wanted to have full license to be able to spend the $4 million war chest however they wanted to without an opponent.
They still have opponents, though.
They do, but I think there's a difference between having a Democratic opponent and having a libertarian or an independent.
Yeah, because you're going to get those Democratic votes just by going to the going to the poll. Democrats are going to vote for their candidate. But just not doing the due diligence on your own candidate. I think that's a weakness in the party to not have to go and we as reporters we do our due diligence on those, and sooner or later that information would have came to light.
Right, and if I'm a down ballot candidate for the Democratic Party, I'm a little concerned too, because that was the top line. Where's the energy now to get the vote out in the Democratic Party in
Well, I think it's going
Arkansas?
to be presidential. Still. And I'm not sure Josh Mahony was going to be the guy that was going to stir down ballot, help for some of those legislative candidates or congressional candidates there. As a matter of fact, I'm not so sure that the paradigm hasn't shifted the other way around now, and it's the local races maybe push up some of the up-ballot stuff there, at least for the Democrats. All right, let's spin up and talk Washington, D.C. Always dangerous. We're taping ahead of Sunday morning, but we should say that where we know we are now with an impeachment update here, let's just center on how the Arkansas all-Republican congressional delegation has really, like all the other Republicans in Congress, has towed the Trump administration line on this and really hasn't given themselves any wiggle room should something come to light that could be highly impeachable, of which some people say there already is enough for that.
Yeah, they've downplayed, that this is a witch hunt, just as the president, and you generally have to follow whatever the president's Twitter is saying. That's there's really no game plan, except that this is nothing. But when Trump puts out a Twitter, you still have to react to that. But it's like you said, there's no wiggle room. What if a smoking gun happens and something really comes out to say this is of national concern? Then where do you go from there?
Well, I think from a short-term view, from a political view, I don't think there's any harm for these guys, these 6 people,
right?
Because there's so much support in Arkansas for Trump, and there's probably a lot of support, anti-impeachment, sentiment. They don't want the president impeached. Long term, though, if you're worried about a legacy, I think that's a problem. And look, all of the 4 congressional members of the House and Senator Cotton, I'm not surprised they don't have enough character to say, yeah, there's something wrong here. I have been a little disappointed with Senator Bozeman. As long as I've known him, he's always come across as the guy, the down to earth, the willing to, acknowledge reality to some extent, and I don't even see that from him. So
He's largely been silent on the
I know
issue.
that's
there just hasn't been any comment at all.
I mean, you use the word lockstep, and man, they are in lockstep. I don't think I've ever known an issue like this where they're all just, it's the same noun, verb. I mean, it's the same.
Well, I mean, if being silent is that a strategy now, when you respond negatively to anything the president says, you get put in the corner, or you get a dunce hat put on your head, or you become a target of his Twitter followers. So, that whole issue of where are you going to stand? Can you say anything negative against the president? No, that's not possible in his party. It's his party now.
Well, this certainly won't be a chapter for profiles in courage.
We'll see. All right. Speaking of courage, our man Wes Brown here is going to be leaving us, and we wanted to wish you well. You're going to the Daily Record.
Daily Record
Tell
here
us what you're
in
going to
Little
be doing
Rock.
over there.
I'm going to be the publisher of the Daily Record. As you know, the Daily Record has a long history, been in Little Rock since 1923, I think, is their beginnings, and it has a long legacy of. They're known by the legal notices and information about the legal community, but I'm going over there to kind of, Mark Nichols is the owner, and Bobby Burton is the CEO over there, going to help them kind of bulk up their editorial content and help in other areas of theirs. As you know, we're in a digital age, so it's a good opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you'll do well. I'm certain you'll do well.
And we will miss you, and we appreciate all your contributions to us over the years. And the door's always open
definitely
to come share your news with us.
All right.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you, Wes Brown, Michael Tilley. Thank you both.
You're welcome.
All right. Back with more right after this.